In this example, we need to find the resultant of a force of 300 newtons that's at right angles to a force of 600 newtons. The blob there represents the object that they both act on, because of course there's no point adding together two forces unless the two forces act on the same object. So we need to choose a scale. And a suitable scale would be to have 1 millimetre representing 5 newtons. Which means that the 600 newtons will be 120 millimetres long and the 300 newtons will be 60 millimetres long. So we need to choose a suitable place to start, and because the forces go to the right and upwards, it makes sense to start in the bottom left hand corner of the page. So we can start our diagram there. So we choose a force to do first. Doesn't matter which one we choose, but I'm going to start with the 600. So I need to draw a line to represent 600 newtons. That's going to be 120 millimetres in the direction of the 600 newtons, which is to the right. And put on the arrowhead. There's my 600 newtons. Where the first arrow ends, that's where I draw the arrow to represent the second force, which is 300 newtons acting vertically. So I draw a line straight up, 300 newtons, 1 millimetre to 5 newtons, so I've got to draw it 60 millimetres long. Put the arrow on the end. There's my 300 newtons. So to find the resultant, I simply go back to the start and draw an arrow that takes us direct from the start to the end of the chain of arrows. So an arrow that goes direct from there to there. So this is the resultant, takes us from the beginning to the end, so I must put an arrow on the end. And there's the resultant force. So to find the size of the resultant force, I simply measure the length of the arrow, which is 134 millimetres. So 134 millimetres at 5 newtons for every millimetre. Let's do it the easy way. 134 times 5 is 670 newtons. If we'd also been asked to give the direction of the resultant force, we'd need to measure the angle. So we'll do that now. And the angle is near enough 27 degrees, so we could say that the resultant force is 670 newtons at an angle of 27 degrees from the horizontal. Now we said it didn't matter which force we chose to draw first, and we can show that by doing the same thing the other way around. So supposing that we'd chosen to do the 300 Newton force first, so from the start we'd have gone up 60 millimetres, and where that arrow finished we would have gone to the right to show the 600 Newton force, which would be 120 millimetres. Which, as you can see, takes us to exactly the same point. So it doesn't matter which order you add forces in. So when you add two forces together, it doesn't matter which order you do it in, you still get the same answer. Just like adding two numbers together. Doesn't matter whether you add 3 and 4 or add 4 and 3, you still get the same answer.